If you've been thinking about investing in Central Florida real estate, now may be a great time. As you drive around Central Florida right now, scenes like this are pretty common still. This is the contents of somebody's apartment. That's an apartment building. It looks like property probably flooded, and all of that stuff had to be thrown away because it just gets covered with mold very, very quickly. And as a result, what I'm seeing a lot of is that there are numerous people who are displaced by the storm, whether they were tenants or owners, and they need places to rent. And I'm not really talking about luxury homes that are going for $4,000 or $5,000 a month. I'm talking about your basic $1,500 a month. That seems to be kind of an introductory price at this point in Central Florida. There is a huge need for that price point. So to that end, I have a couple of condos that I would like to show you. If you are at all thinking about getting involved in the rental market in Central Florida, now may be a great time. So without further ado, let's check out some condos that are currently for sale or were for sale a week ago when I was showing these. This first one is located in Winter Springs in Seminole County and is located in a great school district, so that's going to be a bonus right off the bat. It's kind of unusual because it's really more like a townhome in that it's a two-story condominium. You don't usually see that. Normally condos are one story with neighbors above and below you. This unit looked okay. I'm never a huge fan of tile on kitchen countertops because I feel like it's kind of unsanitary with the grout lines, but if that's the worst offense, that's not really too bad. I like that it had this tile floor. That seems very durable. The unit looked like it needed a fresh coat of paint and some flooring maybe on this back porch, but the back porch was pretty and it looked out over just some trees. There was a storage closet downstairs, which was very convenient. It's a little over 1,000 square feet, so it's not very huge, but overall I liked the layout of it, and having the second floor made it feel a little bit more like home. The second floor also had laundry, which would be great so that your tenants don't have to take all their clothes to a laundromat. This unit is actually still for sale. It is $185,000. The HOA fee is just $250 a month, which is pretty low. And here's the second unit that I want to show you. Now we are still in Seminole County, but we are in Altamont Springs. The HOA fee here is higher at $449 per month, but this building has an elevator and you also get quite a few amenities. It's also waterfront, but there's racquetball, tennis courts, and a pool. So we're on the top floor, and this unit is just about the same square footage as the first one that we saw. Not a two-story unit, but very light, very pleasant, also very original. I think even those appliances may be original. So they were very clean, but something to consider that you may need pretty soon. Now, in terms of price, this one was actually the same price as the first one, so $185,000. I don't know if the additional amenities would translate into higher rent. Of course, with this one, the HOA fee is a bit higher, so that's something to take into consideration. But overall, a very, very pleasant and pretty view to enjoy. So perhaps for that reason, this one could command a slightly higher rental price. So let's talk about whether the numbers work out for you in terms of an investment. Let's say you could get this condo for $180,000 and you can rent it out for $1,500 per month. And let's use the average HOA fee of a 2-2 condo in Seminole County, which was right around $350 per month. Taxes are roughly $1,500 per year. That's already a non-homesteaded amount because all the ones that I looked at were rental properties, and so they were not a primary residence. So that's a total of $18,000 in rent, and your expenses would be $5,700. I do want to point out that in terms of a condo, that $350 a month condominium fee would include insurance for the building, and your tenant would presumably be paying for their own content insurance. So that shouldn't be much of an additional expense. If you were to use a property manager, you would probably be paying them the first month's lease amount for finding the tenant, and then roughly 10%, maybe a little bit less, maybe $125 a month to manage the property for you. And then they have their own expenses like lease renewals, or if they're going to go do property reports for you, that will add up on top of that. So if you are comfortable without using a property manager, that's about a 7% return on your money. So that's something you need to figure out if you can do better elsewhere. And I am also figuring this as a cash purchase rather than using financing. The vast majority of condos sell for cash. And that's also not taking into consideration any appreciation on the condo. I have been reading that prices in Central Florida are expected to go up, even with the interest rates having gone up, simply because a lot of properties left the market and there's a greater demand for properties after the hurricane. So the hurricane has influenced prices to a certain extent. So condos may become a more viable option for purchases in the future as single-family homes continue to go up. And if you're looking for a higher return on your investment, of course you can play around with the rental amounts. I have seen 2 condos advertised as high as $1,800 a month for like a basic condo, not some sort of a luxury complex. But the point of this video is not to show you how you can take advantage of people who are in a crisis situation right now. I'm just kind of using typical rates, typical rental rates. And another way you can improve your return on your investment would be to purchase a single family home. Now, I just quickly researched, you can still find a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home in more or less move-in ready condition for around $250. There aren't a ton of them, but they do exist. And possibly as low as like $225. But any lower than that, and you're definitely getting into major repairs or, you know, like a small bungalow, like a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, which is not what I'm focusing on here. I'm kind of looking for places where you could house an entire family. And I do believe that these rental properties will continue to be very, very important, not just this year. It's not just for people who are displaced, obviously, by Hurricane Ian, but also people who are now unable to purchase, or their purchasing ability has been greatly diminished by the higher interest rates. And so now might be a great time to jump into the rental market if it's something you've been thinking about. So if you are interested, if you have any questions, my contact information is always below this video. Please feel free to click on the title if you're looking on a cell phone, and all of that will show up for you. I have a link to my calendar down there. Please feel free to set up a one-on-one phone call or video with me. I'd be happy to chat with you about your real estate needs in Central Florida.